Hey, Steve Basic Architect. Yeah, so we're going to wrap up the tour on the inside here of our country project here with Arrow Building. I said that we didn't take a tour earlier of the garage because there's a bunch of little pieces of it that are compartmentalized in such a way it's worth talking about. So let's go outside in the garage. We're just leaving the mudroom. We have our one step down. You know, one of the very first things that I think is important in a garage is the lighting. You know, Jake was quick to point out that, you know, in our electrical plan, if you're going to use the garage as a workshop workspace beyond just parking two cars in here, you really have to have some ample light. I mean, we have 4 rows of 8-foot double LED lights here. So it really fills up this space with some nice light. So when you're coming out to do some of the things that we're about to talk about, you have that ample light here. We have a couple windows also providing natural light, and natural light coming in through the garage doors. But the first area, let's talk about the work area here, right? A nice slop sink with some shelving. Who doesn't like that, right? A lot of times you see somebody put just a laundry tub in here, but again, these are outdoorsy people. They might go fishing, come home with a whole bunch of fish, need to clean them up. You don't want to necessarily do that at your kitchen sink, so having the appropriate equipment out here to do that job is very, very important. One thing to notice here, this is not a tile. It's actually a PVC board that gets basically CNC'd. It's 6'3" tile we use. We have our good friends that work there, but they said, hey, if we send you some of this, do you have a place where you can highlight this? So in the garage here, where we're looking to have kind of what I would call a splash zone, then having this up here where this isn't gonna rot, it isn't gonna deteriorate, fall apart, it's real easy to clean. It fits the budget extremely well, but it still looks really good, right? So check them out for that. As we move down, you're probably wondering what this is, but we have a little door. We actually have a little set of stairs here that pull out. Yeah, you guessed it. It's a dog wash station. So they have their dogs, bring them in. You can give them a shower. Got your little handheld here. And if you wanted to move beyond the little puppy to the larger dog, this tray in here removes, and you can basically gain about another 8 inches in depth in the dog wash station there. So I'd be able to give Goose or Duck a really good bath in here, although Goose, I'd probably be wrestling about half the time. But anyways, all of these things, it's really interesting. We're getting more and more calls for this kind of stuff. And now there's companies that are responding. So they're providing these kind of all-in-one systems. They're thinking about how does the dog get in there? You not just have to lift them and put them into that sink, that they can actually climb the set of stairs and get in there themselves, right? Over here, we're gonna have our water heater. We also have our door to the outside, but being in the Midwest, one of the biggest fears are, what happens when those sirens go off, right? What happens when there's a tornado or a severe storm and you're in a house without a basement? Now in New England, it's real easy. Hey, I can go down into the basement. I can hide in the corner down there. I'm pretty safe. Up here, the house is pretty well exposed, fully above grade. And Arrow Building, did a bunch of research, came back and said, there's companies out there that just make bolt-on storm shelters. If we oversize the garage, we can simply just put the storm shelter in the garage. And that's what you're looking at here, right? We basically have the family safe, right? So it's fully vented. Actually has a little peephole. You can go in there, lock yourself in. This is all, 1/4-inch plate steel. So you're not shooting through it. You're not ripping it off of the ground. It's going to echo a little in here, but you can see it is fully bolted and anchor bolted to the slab down below. It also has a little vent here that has a screen, so if anything tries to fly in, and even if it broke the screen, it's still protected by that 1/4 inch metal shield there. There's also a couple bars here, metal bars, that after we close the door, you can put these across the door as a way to reinforce the door itself, because that's basically the weak link of the storm shelter. So you put a couple chairs in here, storm passes, then you can return to that beautiful garage safely. And as a builder, you lower the risk of you saying, hey, how do we build a storm shelter, right? You have a company that warranties and sets the standard. All you do is have to provide the provision to bolt that thing down, and you meet those requirements, then the onus comes on the company that's building these storm shelters, right? So as a builder, you might want to think about that in the future, simply just oversizing that garage. And yeah, you could probably use it to store a few things in there if you wanted to. Go in there, toss them out into the garage, sit in there until the storm is over, and be safe. But something to think about, especially on those Midwest projects. And I know we talked about it. I know we talked about it inside, but you can see there's the temporary wall of death, right? That those mounts are going to be moving in. That's just one of them from one of the clients. But the last thing of note that we've been doing a lot of lately, and you can see this up above here, is this is a fully conditioned garage also. So it's insulated all around, as well as it has its own heating system. Now, the idea is that you're not coming out here and potentially developing it as 70 or 72 degrees like you would do your living room, right? But on those colder winter days, you might want to come out here, work on your car, work on your hobby, and you want to have some tempered air in here. So we're putting a lot of just simple wall-mounted mini splits. And if you're in the hotter places like Texas or Louisiana or someplace like that, you might end up doing that to take the heat edge off, right? Instead of that colder edge off. So we're seeing a lot of conditioned garages. They're moving well beyond, let's just park 2 cars in there and forget about it, or store our bikes and golf clubs. They're becoming places where we give the dog a bath, where we do our hobbies, et cetera, et cetera. So anyways, hopefully that was helpful. A little tour of the garage. I'm Steve Baczek, Architect. Until next time, long live our buildings.